Hi, I'm Robert Dubwise Browne, and I'm here today to tell you about my album, Cliff, Marley, Tosh. Cliff, Marley, Tosh is the name of the album, and it came about 06, '07 actually, when I had the concept of doing a tribute album to these legends in reggae. I think I had just stopped touring with Jimmy Cliff at the time, and his vibe was still resonating with me, and I've always been a fan of Bob Marley, and Peter Tosh is also one of Jamaica's icons. One of my favorite Tosh songs is Johnny Be Good, because of the guitar solo too. I mean, it's not a Peter Tosh song, it's a Chuck Berry song. Initially I wanted to do a more jazzy type album. Not say jazzy because I'm not a jazz guitarist, but more of a mixture of a reggae and some smooth jazz kind of fusion. But as the songs came along, as the songs started to come together, I just let the creativity lead, and it ended up where it is now, which is not a very jazzy type of album, but it's a good mixture of styles, and I really liked how it turned out, as opposed to the initial idea I had, which is what happens when you just allow the inspiration to come instead of try forcing it to be a particular thing. There are 9 songs on the album. 9 songs. A lot of people get used to having like 14 and 18 songs on albums these days. And when I think Kanye put out an album recently with 9 songs or 7 songs, everybody was like, yo, you see what Kanye did? And when you check it, Thriller, Michael Jackson's biggest selling album, only had 9 songs on it. For real. 7 of which were singles, by the way, for those who don't know. Oh, the recordings were actually done, or I should say, it was started in 2007. Yeah, just when the concept came to me, that's when I started recording it. It was intended to be released either late 2007 or 2008, the following year. But for whatever reason, it didn't happen. I started touring a lot. I think 2008 we went on a long tour, and then other things happened. Life happens. I was moving, just a lot of stuff, and I lost focus. That's the bottom line. I lost focus, and for whatever else reason. But I'm not disappointed. I'm actually happy it happened the way it did, because it allowed me to grow as a guitar player and as a producer, because if it had come out at that time, it wouldn't have been the album it is today, from a production point of view and from a guitar playing point of view. So even though a lot of the songs, not a lot, even though the majority of the songs I actually played at the time, between 2007, 8, maybe 9, I did some more overdubs. I think the time between now and then has allowed me to develop the skill set to do a better product, to do a better record. And even though I started the recording then, I ended up doing 4 brand new songs just 3 weeks prior to this album being released. I had 4 brand new songs. So, I scrapped some songs because I don't think they made the cut for this particular project. So, yeah, it came out when it had to, even though the core idea, the concept, and the majority of the songs and the core concept of the album was started back in 2007. My process for choosing covers is typically looking for songs that resonate with me, or songs that I think make great guitar melodies, because not every song suits every instrument melody wise, you know. So I look for songs that I think will sound good on guitar. That's one of the first things, and the song has to resonate with me in some way or form. Yes, there are 2 collaborations on this album, 2 collabs. First is Rebel in Me, Jimmy Cliff original. I had Wayne Armand sing this song, and he actually took a guitar solo as well. So on this particular song you have Wayne singing, and then I take the first guitar solo, then he takes the second guitar solo. Wayne is from the band Chalice. If you're familiar with Jamaican music and Jamaican reggae bands, you know, Third World, you have Chalice, you know, you have Bloodfire Posse. So Chalice was one of those bands from the 80s, mid 80s, and come up and stuff. And Wayne is such a, you know, great person and such talent, you know what I mean. I didn't know, he does a lot of sessions here. He does a lot of sessions in Jamaica, guitar wise, you know, but him sing. So I figured instead of having him do one or the other on my project, let's have him, you know, show himself as he is, you know. So he's a good singer and a good guitar player, so I had him do both on this album. The second collab is with Errol Bonick. Errol is my friend, I call him my brother. He, you know, we started our musical journey pretty much together at the same time-ish. I mean, I grew up playing guitars, and when I was a teen, he actually became the lead singer for my band. You know, I had a band while going to high school. It was myself, the twin brother, Shams, was the bass player, Troy, and Red Rat, sorry, was the DJ, and Troy, Red Rat's brother, was the drummer, you know, and sometimes keyboard player, depending on which era of the band at the time, because there was a period where there was no drummer, there was a drum machine. So anyway, and another high school friend, Dale Harrison, played keyboards, and at some point Sylvan Solomon was our keyboard player. So Errol was our lead singer, and this was in the early 90s. Yeah, so Errol and I go way back, and I asked him to sing the song because I love his voice. You know, he has such a powerful voice, and I think he did the song justice. He did a good job singing the song. So on drums, we have Sean Darson, Mark, Natty, same person. Currently the drummer for Shaggy. Both of us been in Shaggy band forever. Great drummer, great vibes, you know what I mean. So he played drums on a couple of the tracks. There's Paul Castick from 809. Oh, let me go back to Mark. By the way, Mark and I also played for Junior Gang and Julian Marley prior to being in Shaggy's band. So we come from the Marley camp, and we started playing for Shaggy after that. Paul Castick on drums as well. Paul is from 809 crew. You know, 809, Dean Fraser, them back in the day, big backing band, Jamaican backing band. Paul Castick also plays with Dana King, Big Mountain, Maxi Priest, you know. And we also have Oral Browne on drums. So these are all the live songs that were done with live drums. So Oral played one of the songs. Oral Browne is from Tarras's band. He tours with Tarrus Riley currently, Black Soil band. Yeah, he's the drummer for that band. I actually think this was Oral's first recording, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Fresh out of Edna. Bass, there is the original Dad's Glenn Browne on bass. Name speaks for itself. Glenn Browne, my father. Over the years, Ziggy Marley, Luciano, Jimmy Cliff. Currently plays with Tarrus Riley as well. Yeah, so Dad's bless up some of the songs for me. We have Michael Fletcher also on bass from 809 as well. You know, Fletcher was with 809 as well as Shaggy for a number of years. At the time, I believe Fletcher was with Shaggy. Yeah, we were both in Shaggy's band at the time when we did the recordings. And also we have Shams, my twin, playing bass. A lot of people know Shams as the engineer or the producer or the dancer producer management, you know, because he was working with TOK from a couple of years. A lot of people don't realize that he's also a wicked bass player. Like, he has played some nice lines for me, you know, over the years. He's played some wicked bass lines. So on bass we have Glenn Browne, Michael Fletcher, and Richard Browne. Keyboards on this album we have Chris Birch, which usually played 809 as well. If you realize now the 809 crew and Shaggy crew, because we have Chris Birch, who was with 809 and who is also with Shaggy on keyboards on a couple of the songs. We have Kevin Webster, you know, Webber. He was with Richie Spice and then came to Shaggy's band, and now currently works with Sting. Well, at the time of this recording, he is working with Sting. And then we have Othniel Lewis, also on keyboards on this album. We call him Ati. He's one of Jamaica's foremost keyboard players, particularly in the gospel circuit. You know, he's the man, you know, the circuit there. So yeah, Ati played some keys for me, Kevin played some keys, and Chris Birch played some keys on this record. And oh, by the way, I have to mention, Chris Birch has since left Shaggy years now, maybe around the same time when that album was when we did the recording, and has become one of Jamaica's top producers as well. So, you know, Birch, big up Talman, big up Birchill Records, you know. So on horns now, we have horns on one song, I believe, Johnny Be Good. And we have some guys who I met at Edna Manley College, you know, when my son Salim used to go there. The trumpeter in particular is who I met because he was in my son's band at the time. And, you know, I saw him and I thought this was a really talented guy playing trumpet, you know, for a young guy. He had great tone and great consistency playing, you know. So fast forward a few years and he, you know, he has his crew that he plays with, you know. So yeah, I asked him to play some horns on this song and turned out wicked, you know, turned out great, you know. Great set of guys, young, eager, consistent, and, you know, still learning and still have a far way to go in terms of their careers because they're so young. But great musicians, excellence in the making, you know what I mean? For real. And now we have the vocals. Vocals. We have Christopher Smith, the male vocal on the album, and Sherita Lewis, female vocal on the album. Christopher Smith was with Taros Black Soil Band. He was with Black Soil Band for a number of years. And prior to that, I know him from Shaggy's band. He came in Shaggy's band in the early 2000s. And yeah, that's where we met. You know, a quick little story about Chris. Just to show you the talent. I was doing a project for a Japanese company, and they asked for a particular artist to sing the song. In my mind, I was like, yo, this artist can't manage this song, you know. But it's what the company wanted, so I went ahead. So after hearing it and sending it to them, I said, you know, I have somebody who can sing this song for you. And they said, okay, let me hear it. And I asked Chris to sing the song. And when they heard it, I ended up doing 2 songs with Chris for that company. You know what I mean? Just to show you the talent. You know, Sherita Lewis is the female vocals on this album, and she currently tours with Junior Gang, I believe, Damian Marley. And I think any reggae now in Jamaica that you'll hear from the younger set of musicians, younger set of artists, you'll hear Sherita's voice on there. You know, she's like the go-to person now for vocals. She's like the go-to person now for vocals. You know, she writes for a lot of artists. I remember she wrote a song for Itana a couple of years ago. You know, so very talented, very creative. Sherita Lewis, Christopher Smith, and vocals. Yes, I did. You can hear my voice on 2 songs, I think. 2 songs. Coming In Hot and Turn Your Lights Down Low. Well, for now, this album is only available to my subscribers, to my email list. If you want to hear the album, you can go ahead, go to my website and subscribe and follow the instructions on how to download or stream the album. I've been trying to think of ways to thank the people who follow me consistently, you know, the people who support my music, you know, the people who support what I do creatively over the years. You know, you have people who are on my mailing list, who are subscribers, who, even if I send out a song for free, 1 song for free via email or whatever, send out a download link on social media or whatever, they'll still go ahead and buy it. Excuse me, they'll still go ahead to Amazon or iTunes and download it and pay for it. So I wanted to thank them somewhat for just always being there for Robert Dubwise Browne, you know. So in trying to figure out how I can thank them, one day the idea came to me, I figured I have this album so long, so many songs recorded, and it's just on my hard drive, you know what I mean? Why not share it with somebody? Why not just share it, complete the album and share it, you know? And after having the thought, I immediately sent out a newsletter to my subscribers and letting them know that I'll be doing this project. You know, it's a project that I started working on, so on and so forth, and sent out the email. That did 2 things. There was no turning back after sending that email. I had to do the album. And second thing it did, it was motivating, you know, to know that, okay, people are expecting something from you, so you have to deliver. So initially I sent email early December. I don't remember the exact date, but I had promised that the album would be finished before Christmas. I did not meet that deadline, but however, I made it before New Year's Eve. So it was a week later, but still I completed the album in like 3.5 weeks, thereabouts, and ended up recording 4 brand new songs, because after revisiting the project I realized that some of the songs could be better, and those that couldn't be better just wasn't going to cut it. So I ended up recording 4 brand new songs and recording the full production, mixing, mastering and everything with the previously recorded songs, which needed some overdubs and production work, because the project was not one song on the album was complete, mixed and everything, one song. Everything else had to be mixed, had some post-production to be done, and so yeah, I did it mainly because I was motivated by the fact that I was doing this for my subscribers, and I knew they expected it, because after sending the initial email, people replied saying they're looking forward to hearing it, so I could not disappoint. Yes, the album will be available on all digital platforms, maybe around summer or thereabouts. Early in the year, 2 singles will be definitely dropping. So as I said before, if you're interested in listening to the album, go to my website, robertdubwise.com, follow the instructions, subscribe, download, and enjoy. Much respect.